Okay, hello everybody. It's Ed Rosenberg again, and this afternoon I am speaking with Seth Kniep from
Pflugerville, Texas.
Texas. Okay, not too.
Most people don't know how to pronounce Pflugerville, but yeah, I'll just say Texas, Austin area.
All right, so between your name and your city, no one's ever going to find you.
There you go.
Okay, now you got a very interesting website and blog. Tell me a little bit about yourself, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am married to an amazing woman, and we have been all over the U.S. and have had many, many experiences and crazy times in our marriage and hard times and good times. I have 4 kids. Our youngest is 13. Our oldest is almost 18. We started having kids very young. And I love drums. I love to work out, and I love to eat. And I like to rap, and I'm a terrible singer. How's that?
Yeah, okay. I like to rap also, so maybe we can do something together some other time.
Maybe you could rap in Hebrew, and I'll beatbox, because I know just a little bit of Hebrew, just a tiny bit. I used to translate parts from the Old Testament.
Right. Okay. That's good. So we're getting good. Now, how can you help Amazon sellers? What's your background?
Sure. So I used to work for Apple. I started in sales. I moved up to IT. I managed a tech support team, and I worked from home. And the sales department I loved, but when I moved into the IT department, it became very frustrating. And there were times where I would come up with an idea and it was shot down because it didn't fit the agenda of what the superiors wanted to do. And it just got to a point where innovation, even though it's supposed to be an innovative company, in our department, it was being squelched. And a lot of people were actually leaving the company who are underneath that particular manager. Nothing against Apple. It's a wonderful company. But in this particular team, things were not good. And I just became frustrated. And I'll never forget the day, Ed, when my manager said, I want you to make a tracker to track another tracker to track your tasks. It was like tracker inception. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm spending all my time in a spreadsheet. I'm $24,000 in debt. I feel stressed. It's affecting my marriage. And I'm building someone else's dream. And I always had this desire to go out and start something new. And so one day, after I was in a situation where I was made the scapegoat in front of one of my subordinates, and I had done nothing wrong. I had honored everything. I used total integrity in this situation, but I was still made the scapegoat because it would make someone else look good so they wouldn't lose their position. I remember I was so upset. We were on video chat. I had to take a window, like a Microsoft Word window, and put it over the face of the person I was talking to just because I felt so sick in my stomach. And after the meeting was over, my wife was right over there. She could see the tension on my face. I said, that's it. I'll never forget. I was over there in the office. I said, that's it. We're doing something different. We are building a new life for a company. For our family. I don't care what it takes. And so that's when I started going out and doubling my dime.
Doubling your dime, is that like a Texas? Everything with you is a dime. Is that like?
So it's just a concept that I came up with. I like the dime because it is the smallest American coin for its value. So it's a nickel's larger, yet it's less value. A dime is very small. And what I started to do is I started to study exponential growth. If you take a dime and you double it just 20 times, it ends up being over $100,000. And so I thought, what if I did that? What if I just focused on doubling a dime every time and just kept doing it? And so what I did, Ed, is I started walking around Austin talking to random people, and I shared my dream. I said, I don't like my job. Someday I want to pay off my house. I want to get investment properties. I want to start a new life. Will you help me double this dime? And I just started talking to random people and businesses. And some days I felt really stupid walking out, and my son would follow me around with the video camera so we could tape it and show people what we're doing. And some people said yes, some people said no, and some people thought I was crazy.
Okay, so now how did you go from a dime to $100,000 and then to more than $1 million in less than 2 years?
So we started with the dime and we doubled it all the way until it became $400. And that was just talking to people. So there was nothing in return that they were getting. Then I took that $400, and at that time, my wife was selling on eBay and Instagram, so I started getting involved in it. So I started just researching, and I started reading books and watching videos on YouTube and trying to understand, how do you find a potential product? And so I just started researching like crazy, and I found a potential product. I purchased it through DHgate. They sent it over here. We started selling it. Some of it started selling in eBay. Then I put it also on Amazon, started selling a lot better on Amazon. And I started building up an eBay and Amazon store. And every time I took profit, I had a spreadsheet and I write down, here's what we made. And I would take all the money, put it right back into the next purchase. Would not take any money. All the money right back into the next purchase. And I kept doing that. And then at the same time, we found an opportunity to start renting out condos in downtown Austin. So we started that going as well. So we started building up different streams of income. But specifically with our online stores, we just kept doubling that money, ended up being well over $1 million. $1 million total revenue. So that money would keep going back. I wouldn't take that money with me until it got to that. My goal was to get to 100,000 and then let the money itself start taking care of our business. So a lot of people don't realize this, but the day I actually fired my boss, Ed, was in January of 2006. So I was selling eBay and Amazon before. I was doing this on the side, working as hard as I could while I was working for Apple, because I didn't want to cut off that income, but I knew my heart was over here. So I was working as hard as I could. I never forget, and some people will probably disagree with this, but someone said, don't quit your job too early. Just let it bend until it breaks. And I'm glad I did it. So I just, less and less time. They could start seeing I wasn't doing as good. It just slowly got worse and worse till finally I was like, okay, I'm done. And I left Apple clean, and then I went full time.
Right. Now, Apple that must have been a hard decision, because a lot of people think that Amazon selling online, it's great for a side business as long as you get your insurance and your basic salary and
right.
And then you get, for the extras, you have this. So you're saying that's a bad idea, right?
Bad idea to do it part-time?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think if someone's serious about building wealth and financial freedom, that they should go all out. There are people on my team who do it part-time and they like it. But most people that I've worked with to talk to, they want to go full-time. And I think with Amazon growing and the increased people jumping in, it takes – the way I look at it, Ed, is a lot of people used to think Amazon like this. I'm going to sell stuff online and make money. But I think a better mindset is, no, I'm going to build a business. It's a legitimate business with a brand, and build a following and build a loyalty so that people know that brand and just start expanding from there.
But you sell your own private label brand, or you resell other items?
My own. So we still do some retail arbitrage stuff where we'll buy stuff at discounts. And my wife is very good at this. She likes doing it. I don't like arbitrage. I'm okay. I shouldn't say I don't like it. I'm okay at it. She's very good. So she does that. She just likes the, finding deals, going online. She still does more of that. But for me, it's 99% private label.
That's where the money is. That's where because you're not really building a business if you're just reselling. If you always, every day you got to run around, find items.
Exactly. Your business is based on, Disney or Nike or some other brand, whereas if they find our products, the profit's better. And my favorite part, Ed, and I know people talk about this a lot, is you can still make money while you're sleeping. You wake up, you grab your phone, and you have more sales come in. Right. And I think the biggest hardest challenge is the mindset. A lot of people go into it with the mindset, I need a quick return on my money. And I tell people, if you want to make a lot of money, you're not going to get a quick return. You have to invest time and money for a while, for weeks, months, and then later it starts turning into income. And if you can, throw that money back into your Amazon business, because then it will grow much faster. And that was one of the keys for us. Because we put our money back into the business constantly, that's what caused us to expand very quickly.
You put the money back into more inventory, correct?
Exactly. Inventory, and then PPC ads. Exactly.
Okay, so after a while, you became really good at this, and then what happened?
So then I started making YouTube videos, because when I would go on YouTube and look for videos, a lot of it people would just talk and talk and talk and talk, and then try to sell a program. Talk and talk and talk and talk, and you would look at it and go, wait, I just spent 15 minutes and I learned almost nothing. Or I would go try it and it didn't work. So I had a friend. So I already had a YouTube channel. I had like 26 subscribers. It was very, very pathetic. And I had a friend who invited me to be on his show. And he said, Seth, I'm going to start advertising your YouTube channel to embarrass you into making good videos. So he started pushing. His name is Lonnie. If you ever get a chance to watch his videos, he's an arbitrager and very, very good. And so he started advertising me. And so that I thought, you know what? And I always had this mindset. I never have time. I work at Amazon. Finally, one day I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So I came into this room right here before it had, all the sound stuff in the studio, and I made my first video for Amazon. And the video was, let me think for a minute, how to, 2 keys to standing out from the competition. And I taught some of the most important principles that helped me make money and how to beat the competition on Amazon. And then I just started making YouTube videos. And eventually people started saying, hey, will you show me how to sell on Amazon? And that's how the whole Just One Dime coaching business grew.
And people reached out to you from those videos?
First, it was a combination of people who knew me on Facebook, like friends who already knew me. Like they would see my video posted on Facebook. So then they go watch it. Then they'd ask me. And then from there, it started just to grow. And YouTube's been the primary source of where we've created a whole coaching business.
Right. And you're teaching advanced sellers, you're teaching private label sellers. Like, what's a typical seller that you reach out to?
Yeah, typical seller is between mid-20s to early 50s. Most of them are married and kids. We're not trying to market to marry, but I think because I'm married and have kids, a lot of people resonate with my story. Because my videos are very focused on taking ownership and not blaming the world for your problems, but taking ownership and doing something with your life, that people with similar values are attracted to that. And so that's our typical seller. Most of them are new. Some of them are new-ish, not brand new. Some already made a lot of money. Like one guy, he made $7 million a month, and other people, it's hundreds of thousands a month. Our highest revenue person on our team ever, $7 million a month. And for him, it was a unique situation. I was like, what do you want me to teach you? You make more than I do. I don't do $7 million a month. He's like, no, but there's some things that I don't. Because his mindset was very 15 years ago, Amazon, not the current Amazon. And the old ways weren't working. So he needed a new approach. And so he saw my videos and he wanted me to help him.
And how do you teach? Like, you log into their account? Do you just talk to them about it? Like, how do you teach them?
Yeah, really good question. So it's a combination of several things. So first, there's 4.5 hours every week of live coaching. So it'll be, for example, on Mondays, I and another coach are coaching people live. It's not pre-recorded, and we answer questions, sharing our screen, taking them through a slideshow. Then on Tuesdays, we have a guy who helps European sellers. Then on Wednesdays, we have guys who do live Q&A. Then every other Thursday, someone who helps with mindset training, like the right perspective, how to think about business. Then Fridays, we have a group for new people. We have a guy who leads that group because he really resonates with new people who feel frustrated or overwhelmed because there's so much information. So we have all that live coaching. Then we also have videos. And these are not outdated 2016 videos that no longer apply. Like, we constantly are updating, and these are very in-depth. Some of them are 45 minutes long, step-by-step videos showing you what to do. And so the majority of when I'm working on coaching is making new videos or coaching people, and then coaching our 8 coaches who coach people. Right. So that's part of it. There's a lot more, but the main part is the Facebook community we have, and then the videos and the live coaching. Those are probably the 3 main pillars of how people are learning. I'll just give you an example, Ed. This is what I love about this community. I just did this as a test the other day. Someone asked a question in the private Facebook group, and in about a little over 2 hours, I saw all these answers, 56 answers in a little over 2 hours, everyone trying to help. And I just thought, man, I've never worked with people like that before. Like, unbelievable how helpful people are when they're really invested. And we've kicked people out because they were not cooperating. They weren't teachable. Like, I'm huge on people need to be humble. I have my own mentor, and he kicks my butt and tells me where I need to change and grow. I believe in that. And when people have that attitude versus, oh, I got it made, I'm all cool and rich, it changes everything. Then you have a community of people who actually care for each other. You feel like you're part of warriors, like a community. It's not like this stale program. Oh, go on and figure it out. It's like you're doing life with them. And that's the part I love the most.
Right, so give me one tip most sellers are doing wrong. Like, what's your go-to tip? Can you tell me that?
For Amazon sellers, right?
Yeah, like what? Like probably most are doing wrong.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So here's one of my favorite tips. When you first launch your product, get as many reviews on there as you can legitimately. So it's qualified, social proof. That's the first thing. And then starting a price that is below profit and slowly raising it, getting on the first page first and then raising it just a little bit, maybe, 25 cents, then 3 days more, 25 cents, then 50 cents. And as it sells, first getting on the first page, then raising it. And then in this concept, Ed, I love, people are going to keep buying on Amazon. They're going to. They are. So people say, oh, it's too saturated. I don't believe that for a second. People are spending millions of dollars on Amazon. If I have a good product, the best, if my price is competitive, I'm going to make money. If I know my numbers, I'm going to make money. And so by raising the price just a little bit until we're actually above the profit line, and then if this is the bottom profit, here's the average and here's the cap, because people only spend so much, like on a marker, for example, they're only going to spend so much. My price needs to be a little bit below that cap. But by adding value, a marker with an eraser, like bundling it, I can justify a higher price, but still be underneath the cap, but still make a good profit. And so that raising price strategy I used to wonder why people would sell something for $4. How do they make money? Now I understand. They're ranking it. And once it's ranked higher, they raise the price, but not a dramatic price range, or you lose your own buy box, which people are going, how do I lose my own buy box? There's no one else selling on my listing. It's crazy.
No, I agree that, look, I'm selling for over 20 years, and one of the first sellers on eBay. And ever since I started selling, people always took a point in time and they always said, well, then you were able to make money, 18 years ago, but not now, 15 years ago. Right. So I think now too, I think, when people are saying that it's saturated and you used to be able to make money, I think they're making a very big mistake, and they're going to look back at this point, and whoever said that is going to be just crazy. Like I myself, I buy almost 100% of my stuff online. I mean, I don't buy. Why would I ever go to a store? Right. And it's just going to get more and more like that. So
yeah, and you're doing private label, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying selling, but I'm saying as a buyer. Like when people say, can you sell on Walmart and Jet? I always ask, do you buy in Walmart and Jet? So
gotcha. Right.
So I myself, I buy almost everything on Amazon. Almost 100%.
Yeah.
And and I buy zero on Walmart, zero on Jet. Right. I don't even have an account. So that's me. But I think I think the market is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as many people as are selling, there's just so many buyers that we'll be able to make money, for the rest of our life, I think.
Yeah. And I think, too, with the new focus on brand registry and trademark and the priority Amazon's giving, we have a greater opportunity. It's forcing people to think more like building a business versus just selling stuff, because the more established we are, the easier it is to get brand gated, to protect our brand so people aren't hijacking their listings, because that's a huge concern. What if my listing gets hijacked? What do I do? And all these bots and everything going on. So like the way Amazon's moving, it's rewarding real legitimate businesses. And that part I love.
Right. The only thing, on Amazon, if you're watching this, the only way I disagree is, like you're saying, like keep throwing money back into your business. It's just so unstable. I mean, what is stable is the demand. That's stable. What's not stable is Amazon's policies and performance issues. And I see it so many times a day. It's heartbreaking. It's here today, gone tomorrow. Right. So to me, the biggest reason why I or anybody like me will hold back selling on Amazon is there's no warning. Unless they change how their performance policing, it's very hesitant for me to tell someone, just go full force into Amazon.
Yeah, I agree with that part, but I kind of like it. Maybe I'm attracted to chaos, but for me, I feel like, okay, so let me share this, Ed. I have a friend who sells on Amazon, and he is a great hacker. Let me explain. He's a white hat hacker. He's not doing shady stuff, but he understands hacks very well. And so when there's a new change in Amazon, like I believe the 250 character limit for keywords on the back end, and everyone's like, wait a minute, I had 5,000 character spaces. What do I do? For me, I look at it as, okay, there's got to be a way we can leverage this. So I'll go to him and say, hey, guess what? I figured out a hack. He's like, oh, I already know that one. So like for every 7 hacks he finds, I'll find one he doesn't know about. But I don't know. I kind of like it because the change, the variety, the adventure, I'm drawn to that. And I know it's inconsistent, but then I compare that to when I had my own business online. I used to sell vapes, for people trying to get off cigarettes. The risks there are so much greater than Amazon. It's so much easier to make money in Amazon. Yeah, I could tell you that story some other day.
No, what happened? What happened with a website? It's hard to. I mean, it's like if you take the amount of people who bought on marketplaces compared to websites, let's say 10 years ago, when Amazon was not that big, or 15 years ago when it was just eBay, it was probably like 50% marketplace, 50% website. Now, like most people buy on marketplaces. So to have a successful website is really hard. It's more and more work for less and less value. So
agreed. Yeah, agreed.
No, but getting back to what I was saying before, I'm not against change either, and I agree that when there's change, there's opportunity. But what I'm referring to is the fact that so many sellers, even if you're a very large seller, and I'm sure you've come across it, it's here today, gone tomorrow. They'll just suspend you without giving a good reason, and many times it's unjustified. You don't see that? You don't see that a lot?
I do. Suspensions are very common. The one that's the craziest is when someone signs up, they're brand new, and the moment they've signed up, almost immediately, I got suspended. And so we have this, not to be mean, but we have this sort of a joke like, welcome to Amazon. Right. You got suspended.
Right. Right. No, I mean, basically when that happens, Amazon looks at a seller as a seller looks at a product.
Right.
So if you have a product that's not working for you, you don't put your hand around the product, say, hey, let's talk about why it didn't work out. You just get rid of it.
Yeah.
So they look at a seller too. So if they see a new seller and it may be related to another account, and the guy all of a sudden is putting on 10 iPads, they're like, eh. So it's just not worth it for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is a valid point. And I do see that. The account suspensions, all of a sudden they change something without any warning, and they don't tell you. They don't always tell you, hey, here's why, or here's what's going on. It just happens. And so we have to go scramble and figure out, okay, what exactly happened and what does that mean for me practically? It is difficult. And I think if I could change anything at Amazon, Ed, it would be the people who you get on the phone. I know there's a little higher chance of getting people help you if you get in the catalog department, at least in my experience there are. But a lot of those people are like a frontline filter with canned answers. And a lot of times I'll call in and they're not, I know better than they do. I don't say that in arrogance, but I'll know something and they don't. And I'll say, no. Even your own policy says this, like you need to, and finally the third person will agree. They need to educate those people so they actually help sellers, because we are helping Amazon make money.
Right. No, and not only that, like I would, if I can speak to somebody in performance, like, I would pay $100 an hour more to get to the bottom of the issue. So if the issue is money and they can't have phone support, people are willing to pay a lot of money to get to the root of the problem. And so in my opinion, that's the only reason why I would be scared to advise people to go full force into Amazon. But other than that, I heard someone say it's the greatest growth engine the world has ever seen. Wealth builder.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Have you ever happened to have an account manager as a seller on Amazon, where someone from Amazon represents you as an account manager?
Yeah, I've had that, and that's somewhat helpful. But the problem is that when you get suspended, they all melt away. They all basically, you're suspended, so I can't help you. And sellers are always, well, that's why I need you. So it's very frustrating. And but on the other side, I understand Amazon also, whatever they're doing is working.
Yep.
Let's face it. So they know what they're doing. It's just this little issue, which it seems like they're always working on and they can't solve.
Right. I hear you.
But other than that, Seth, anything else you would like to finish in closing?
Thank you, Ed, for the opportunity to be on your show. And thank you for what you do, man. So it was kind of cool. I was able to hear about you through other people. And I know you help a lot of people out. And thanks for the honor to be able to be here.
Yeah, and it was an honor to speak to you too. And once we're done, I'm going to have all your links on the video and when I send out this post. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, we'll make it easy for you. Okay, Seth?
Awesome. All right. Thank you, man. Nice to meet
Thank
you,
you.
man.
Likewise. Bye.
All right.